So the next step in building our track is we're going to make a bass line. And honestly, this is pretty similar to how we made a chord progression, except a little simpler. So we're going to create a new MIDI track by hitting Command-Shift-T, and then we're going to find an instrument. And then instead of mallets, we're hitting bass, and let's pick a different stock synthesizer. So I'm going to go to analog, and let's see what this one sounds like. Muted dark bass. I quite like this one. So I'm going to drag and drop. And again, you can always change this later. I just like how this one sounds. I think it'll fit. So there are a few different ways that we can record with MIDI or draw with MIDI, but I'm going to use my MIDI controller again to do this. And again, for those of you who maybe aren't super comfortable with music theory, when in doubt, you can usually play the bottom note of whatever chord progression you're using, and it'll work. So I'm going to play just the F and the C because my two chords are F major 7 and C major 7. I'm going to just play them rhythmically, and we'll see what happens. My click is on. I'm going to hit record, and let's record this. Again, I'm going to scrub this back, and it sounds like this. So my bass playing is a little bit late, so this is a good opportunity to use quantization, and we can do that by opening our MIDI editor window again, hitting Command A to select all, and then using quantization by hitting Command-Shift-U. This time I'm going to set it to eighth notes. And let's see what that sounds like. And that totally works. But one other way that we can do this that I think is really fun is we can highlight this whole section and create a new MIDI clip by hitting Command-Shift-M or right-clicking to insert empty MIDI clip. And with Ableton, we actually have these generate tools, and I'm only going to show you just this one. And if I hit a different pattern, we get all of these different rhythmic patterns that are going to play a C. And so if I hit a rhythm that I like, we can work with that, and I'm going to highlight the first half of this and change it to an F by hitting my arrow key up. And now it should be lined up with the chords. And that's just one fun way to create a bass line using a rhythm generator with Ableton Live. One other thing that's cool about generating rhythms within Ableton is you'll see that there's these little dots down here, and this is the velocity window. And when you have a velocity that's higher, it means that it's going to hit the note harder. And if the velocity is lower, it's going to be a little softer. And so that can create accents. And what this rhythmic pattern is doing is it's creating an accent for the downbeats, and then the rest are a little softer. And I can solo it to hear it better. So now we have a very simple bass line that we can work with, which means that we can save our session and move on to instrumental melodies and sampling techniques.